Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Nate's Numismatics. I'm your host, Nate, and before we get started today, I'd just like to go over something that I talked about in my last video. I got this sample slab in the mail recently, a few days after I made that last video, and this is from the NGC Instagram giveaway for 30,000 followers. And it contains a 2016 lettered edge West Point proof Silver Eagle. This is just a really nice sample. You can see it's super reflective, and it is one of only 5 slabs of the type made. So it's a really, really nice sample slab to have in my collection, and I just wanted to show that off, I guess, since I didn't get it in time for the last video. Anyway, now on to the actual video. Counterfeits. They are a thing that you have to deal with when you deal with coins. A lot of the times you will see just really cheap, low quality counterfeits. This is this is supposed to be a fake of the Statue of Liberty silver dollar from 1986. You can see it's got a 1906 date. A lot of the times you'll see these old replicas of old coins. They'll say copy on them. Usually, this one has it very lightly right there. And a lot of the times they'll just have been made in some factory, probably in China, in the past 20 years or so. So they're not collectible at all. They're worth basically nothing. And they're very common to see, and a lot of the times you'll see these in just really cheap buckets of coins, and they're always going to be completely fake, and there's nothing really special about them. You can get these super cheap if you wanted them, but I don't see I don't really see why. You'll see the ever famous 1791 trade dollar, minted in Carson City, no less. And oftentimes just have weird patterns. They'll be based on an actual coin, but you know, they have a lot of differences. And those are what I call counterfeits, meaning they hold no numismatic value. They're worth, I mean, they might as well be worth less than the metal they're minted on. But there is a second type of counterfeit coin, a contemporary counterfeit. Contemporary counterfeits are coins that were minted. They were made to be circulated alongside real coins, and they're typically made out of lead or other cheap metal. And they'll be very close to the original coin that it's trying to replicate. And these are actually collectible in their own right. Some people don't like them, but I do. I like to see the things that circulated back in the day. Now, this is a book The monograph of the Silver Dollar by J.L. Riddle was originally published back in 1845, I believe. 1845. He worked at the New Orleans Mint, and this is just a book that contains pictures of real and fake coins that were in circulation at the time. Mostly 8 reals, but there are a few other types of coins in here. Let's see, Brazilian dollars, and there's some American coins in here towards the beginning. And this was essentially a guide to bankers to be able to identify different counterfeit coins that were widely circulating. These were reprinted in 1969 and limited to 550 copies. I have copy number 341, and it's just a really nice book that was gifted to me by a fellow YouTuber, the Coin Cobble, actually. Anyway, so I am going to be just talking about some of these contemporary counterfeits today. Start off with this. This is a George III. I believe that's a halfpenny. And this is more of a token than anything, really. There was a lack of circulating copper back in the 1770s, and these were minted sort of to fill that need by individuals. They're a lot like the hard time tokens in the United States. And these are just really cool counterfeits, since they basically took the place of money in a shortage. Next up, I've got these deniers. They're old coins, I believe 1500s and 1600s. I might be off on that though. And these were supposed to be silver coins. You can see here they're copper and silver plated. There's a lot of different designs. These are cast rupees, I believe. You can see here they've got these molding marks on them from where they were broken off from the mold that produced them. And before I get into some of the really cool stuff, here's a just a fake British trade dollar. Looks real enough until you get to looking at it a little bit closer, and I'm not sure if you can see it there, but it's got, there we go, it's got very rough surfaces. These are it shouldn't be these shouldn't have such rough surfaces. They should be very smooth, and you can see here that the reading on the edge doesn't go all the way across the edge, and in some places it's readed double, actually. Anyway, so this is a fake as well. I've got a 1896 sovereign. This actually is pretty convincing. It got sold as a real one pretty recently and returned when it was a fake. You can see right here. I'm not sure if you can see that, but the inside is a base metal, and it's only gold plated, but it's done very well, and it's very convincing. Feels like the real thing. These are typically what you'll see when you'll see contemporary counterfeits. They're lead copies of just regular circulating coins that were meant to be passed off in just with a large quantity of coins. So you might hand a guy a $50 and 1/4 to pay for something, and the quarter's fake, and that's what these are. And this is a 1944 uniface. I believe this is cast as well. A 1960 lead quarter. A lot of the times you'll see these on very common dates, just because the rarer dates tend to get investigated a little bit more thoroughly, so it's harder to pass them off as those. But if they're dates that no one cares about, then you can pass them off easily. Next, I'm just going to pull up this scale real quick. These are some of my silver dollars. You can see here 1879 Carson City, and it looks, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference if I hadn't known this was fake beforehand. I'm sure some people out there would have, but they're not me. A real silver dollar should weigh 26.73 grams, and you can see that's only 25.1, so it's definitely a fake. Here's one that it's a lot worse off. This is a 1880 Philly, I believe, and it's just another lead copy. It's about 10 grams underweight, and you can see that someone caught it way back in the day and just stamped it with the word "bad" to indicate it was fake. So that's cool. It means that it went around a bit and was close enough to being real, to looking real, that it had to be completely marred. And this one, I wouldn't really call it a contemporary counterfeit, but it's cool enough. It's a replica of the 1964 Denver Peace Dollar, and these were struck in about very, very low numbers, and all were melted, of the real ones at least. And you can see here there's some copper shining through, so it's a copper with silver plated. I just keep that with the rest because I think it's neat. Gold $1 coin. A real one of these should weigh about 1.7 grams, and as you can see, this is only 1.1. And I just think gold counterfeits are really neat in general because they're not they were more heavily scrutinized, and contemporaries, I think, are just sort of neat. And I've got a 10 rubles, 1899. You can see sort of here there's copper shining through, and the die orientation is, well, struck with rotated die. So this is a not the highest quality replica or counterfeit. And you can see there's some very minor die cracks on the coin. It's got a lettered edge, which is neat. A lot of times on counterfeits you'll see that the edge is completely off. This one is a braided hair half-cent. This one actually tricked me for a while. I bought it from a eBay auction. It was from Germany, and I believe I bought it on July 4th of last year, if I remember correctly. And it ended very cheap at about $20. And I didn't realize it was fake until this year when I was just pulling it out and looking at it, and I realized it felt lighter, and sure enough it's about a gram underweight. At first I thought it was just because of the wear and the bad surfaces, but no, sure enough it's not real. So I learned a bit of a lesson that day. There's no Santa Claus in numismatics. There's you think you're getting a great deal, because braided hair half-cents are typically a lot more expensive, then chances are someone's getting the short end of the stick. This is another braided hair half-cent. This is 1849 half-cent, and you'll see again that this is only 5 grams. It's about 0.4 of a gram underweight, and it shouldn't be that much underweight even with some light circulation. This one it looks really nice, I think, and it's another one of those that would have fooled me just by looking at it. Got some $50 here, a lead barber half. I'm not exactly sure what metal this is, maybe pewter. This is a 1964 $50. I've got another 1964 half. That is comically oversized. This is the size of a real $50, and you can see that's a lot bigger, a lot thinner as well, but that's beside the point. Newfoundland 1904 $50. This is another, I believe this might be tin. It's hard to tell without destroying the coin any further, which this is already scratched up pretty bad. A lead South African 2 shillings. Again, very rough, meaning that someone tested it at some point and found that it was fake and pulled it out. 8 rails are very collectible, even when fake. This one is a 1783, and this is not entirely fake, I'd say. These were, at least according to this book again, these were minted with about half purity silver, half the purity of the regular coin. And that was figured out by testing the silver of a real one and a known fake. Here's a little bit of a lower quality one. 1895 8 rails. It's copper and looks like it has an old silver plating to it. It's been wearing off. And here's I believe that's 1808 8 rails. And this one, again, at least in this book, says that it's not entirely fake. There is some silver in there, but it's very low, especially for this one. Got some 2 reals, sorry. This one is cast. This one I'm not sure how the process was made, but it is copper underneath that, you can see there. And an older one. Some French Indochina ones. These are very popular to see fakes of. You can see that it's got the weight on here. Let me see if I can get that in focus for you. There we go. Should be 2.7 grams, and if we toss it on the scale, it's only 2.5. Sorry about that, the phone just went off. Again, this is only 2.5 grams as opposed to 2.7. It shouldn't be that low, especially with how much detail is left on this coin. This one is supposed to be 5.4 grams and 680 silver. This one would have been a higher silver purity in 1911, so this is a very bad fake. It's got it's a meal is what it is, a meal counterfeit. Some shillings here, 1816 and 1817. It'd be interesting to see if you could put together a date set of this type in fakes. I've got another Mexican silver, but that's actually copper. It's been silver plated. Just a few more. This is a halfpenny that it looks like it was cast. A real halfpenny should be 5.67 grams. This is well below that, only 4.2. And you can see that the surfaces are very mushy, or the design is very mushy, and the fields are very porous. And this is just cool as a really low denomination coin, lower than you would typically see fakes of. We've got a penny that, admittedly, I'm not sure of. It's a little bit underweight, but not too much. This is from the H Mint in 1912, and as a branch mint, they typically had very poor strikes on the coins. I've got some more here that are, well, they're real, but you can see that they're also very weakly struck. So it is possible that this is actually real, and the only thing that throws me off is the a little crack, I guess it would be, going through the date, but that could just be a regular die crack. Here's a US trade dollar. This is actually a real coin that's been altered to be something different. 1880, I believe that's a 5 or a 3. Either way, those were both proof-only years. So someone took a real trade dollar and scuffed up the date and carved in a new one to make it something that would be a lot more valuable than what is this? This is a type 2 obverse and reverse, so it would probably have been 1875 or 6 maybe, and that would just be a regular business strike. You can see here that it's oops, missed grains. It's supposed to be 420 grains, and it's 415. That's within tolerances for a circulated trade dollar. So that's just something that's really neat. A real fake trade dollar. And finally, these are the first contemporaries I bought, and these are 2016 Nauru $5 coins. And I bought these for my one from each country set using eBay Bucks a few years back, and when they finally came, I went to put them in on Numista, and I saw a warning from the Bank of Nauru that these were fakes, made in China, and they aren't even of a real coin. They're just completely fakes. But well, they're dated 2016, and I got them around that time, a few years after. But I consider them to be contemporary counterfeits as well, and they're not bad coins. Got a cool boat on them. Anyway, that's all I really have for you guys today. I just wanted to go over this interesting corner of the hobby that most people don't usually think of when they think of coin collecting. Again, Monograph of the Silver Dollar. I'd recommend picking up one of these if you can. It's full of good information. You can see fineness and weight and actual metal value of the coins. And there's lots and lots of pictures of all sorts of different types. So I'd recommend picking this up either in a PDF if you can't find an original book, or getting the original book if you can. It's a really good one. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.